This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast, our feature review. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul.
This week we are reviewing Hotel Mumbai for you.
That is correct. So let's get into the vital statistics straight off the back. Directed by first-time director Anthony Maras and screenplay by he and John Colley. Stars Dev Patel, Armie Hammer, Nazarene Bon-Edini.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Tilda from Harvey, and Jason Isaacs and Annapurna Kerr.
You are good.
And it is 125 minutes long. It is made by a whole bunch of countries, including Australia, which
Adelaide,
is the primary.
yeah.
Shot in Adelaide, most of it. India and the US co-production. It hasn't opened anywhere else except here in Australia, I believe, at this
really?
particular point. So we got
That's
to see it first. It opens in the States at the end of the month. So if you are listening to this, there will be very clear spoilers and non-spoiler sections, obviously starting with the latter. Now, before we go any further, Wayne, and get your particular summary of the film, which is pretty simple to describe, probably quite. When we think about it, we want to acknowledge that this is badly timed in one respect.
Probably worst timing ever for this movie.
And our hearts and our thoughts go out to all the people affected by the Christchurch massacre, where all those many Muslim people were killed by the one gunman, in direct contrast to what happens in this film. Revolves
kind of the other way around.
reversed.
Yeah.
So we understand that this might be a little bit sensitive for people at this stage, but
just a warning.
it's just a review of the particular film, and we just want to acknowledge that and all the very best to everyone who's been affected by this tragedy.
Definitely.
All right, Wayne, what is Hotel Mumbai about?
Well, Hotel Mumbai tells the story of a 2008 coordinated attack in Mumbai, during which a terrorist cell hits this populous city across several locations. More than 160 people died from that violence. One of the targets was the Taj Mahal Palace. That's a luxury hotel filled with foreigners and locals. In this movie, Dev Patel plays a waiter named Arjun. He's tending the guests in the hotel's restaurant when the attack begins. Also in the dining room is Zara Nazanin Boniadi. Is that right?
Yeah, say all the names again. I did all the hard work.
There you go. And her American husband, Armie Hammer. And a Russian oligarch named Vasily, played by Jason Isaacs. This is essentially the story of that attack and those people and how them and the staff get through this.
Yeah, and a bunch of other sort of randoms get caught up in it as
Randoms,
well, in
yeah,
little
exactly.
bits and pieces. All right, so that is the setup. We picked this one because it kind of coincides with our topic for this week's main countdown, which is top 10 most intense films. Wayne, did you find it an intense experience? How did you find Hotel Mumbai?
Dude, so I saw it after the news of the Christchurch thing. And
Whereas I saw it before.
Yeah, and you saw it right before, didn't you? So I walked in. I remember sitting down, and I didn't actually. I remember you told me about this movie weeks ago, and you showed me the trailer, and I thought, oh, cool. But then I promptly forgot about it,
As you do.
as I do. And I went, I'm not going to look it up again before I see it. I'm just going to walk in as cold as possible. Didn't even know who was in it.
Okay.
All right.
That would have been interesting.
It was interesting because I sat down and I was like, okay, because what I thought it would be like is, have you seen The Night Manager?
Yes.
I thought it would be a bit like that at the beginning. That's what I thought it would be. I don't know why. Right? So it's just like, well, there is a hotel. No. I know, exactly, right? It's in a war-torn hotel place. This ain't that at all, man. All right? I was sitting down watching it going, sure. And then because of all the recency of all this shit, I'm like, fuck. I don't really want to see this. Hey, I really don't want to see it.
Was it busy in there?
No. In mine, it was not busy at all.
Wasn't overly busy where I was.
I don't think this is, a blockbuster, of course.
No.
But like, I wonder if that affected it. I wonder if no one's in the mood for that. Because I tell you
Obviously,
what,
there's nothing more important than the lives that were lost. But I would imagine the producers of this film are
spewing. Absolutely. I mean, and so that was the thing. Once I realized what kind of movie it was, and exactly how this movie doesn't pull many punches at all, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I was like, oh fuck. But I thought, okay, well, let's just watch this. So. What's probably the hallmark here is the harrowing detail, and probably the fact that there's very little score.
Correct. I noticed that as well.
In this movie. So it's very realistic, and it's not, and it's sort of matter of fact, but it's kind of like, that's probably what that scene would look like, because the camera angles are not particularly fancy or anything.
Nope.
And you can tell, I think this guy actually has a history in documentary film, and you can kind of tell, because it looks like a documentary, and it's supposed to, a bit, to show you how real it is, I guess. I thought it was really cool. But I thought, not cool, sorry, cool's not the word. But
I think it's a very effective film.
Very effective, yes, completely. So what did you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think this is appropriately very intense. I thought, harrowing's a pretty good word at times. It really doesn't let up. You immediately opens on these 10 terrorists who are on a boat on some river who are about to deposit themselves on Mumbai, and They split up into teams of 2 effectively, and off they go. We get a very quick introduction to the other characters who are going to play out, the guests, as you said, and the hotel staff. Now, they've taken some liberties here.
Have they?
The actual terrorist attacks in Mumbai in 2008 took place over 3 days. They've condensed it down into 1 day, effectively. And the characters are all composites of real people, all made up, with the exception of the head chef.
Who's a legend?
Who is he's great. He was in Silver Linings Playbook. I think he's in. I think he might even have been in Seinfeld.
I was trying to say that guy. I know that guy. I was
I'm pretty sure he's an actor. He's an actor in Seinfeld too. But he's a veteran Bollywood actor. He's in lots and lots of stuff. If you look it up, he plays lots of little roles.
Okay.
He's phenomenal. Anupam Kher as head chef. Hemant Oberoi. He's a real dude. He really did most of the things that are depicted in this film.
Very impressive, man.
It's incredible. As much as it's harrowing, as much as it pulls no punches, I will also say there is some real triumph here of human spirit and courage, which I really bought into.
I would agree with that as well, because I can tell you when you're in the movie, you're looking for light. You're looking for a ray of hope, right? You're thinking, fucking come on. And the things that happened in this film, I was not expecting. Some of the things.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in spoilers. I think there was 1 joke in the entire movie.
Yes.
2 if you count the fact that Dev Patel's shoes didn't fit, and here he is rocking up for inspection, and he's got his sandals and his black socks on.
Oh no, that was to show you what a tight ship that guy runs.
Yes, I know, but it was also slightly comedic.
Slightly. Oh no, there's like a couple of sex in here. There's 2. No, one of the jokes was he couldn't speak English, so he was saying that was kind of a funny bit. And then there was the food.
Oh, yeah, there was a couple. And the film also almost equally focuses on the terrorists as it does on the victims and the people in the hotel, which is an interesting choice that Anthony Moras and John Colley make. And that's obviously very deliberate. They don't humanize them.
I wouldn't say it's humanizing, but I would say it's insightful because and that helps the movie because you're looking at the terrorists and you're like, well, what exactly, like, you have to go, what is the agenda, who's running the strings and so on. In real life.
That you never find out.
In real life, we never found out.
That's correct. That's why you never find out.
Yeah, so I'm like, shit.
But did you know the recording? So they've all got earpieces in and they're all being directed by somebody off-site, someone back in Pakistan, because the terrorists are all Pakistani. The dialogue in this film is based on the recordings that they had access to. So the quotes that they're using, not all of it, obviously, because they're manufacturing some scenes, but a lot of those things were really said and picked up by the Indian police.
So they actually did manage to track down this audio.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they picked it up. They tuned into the
because
radio.
one of the things that is really like apparent in this movie is how, understandably, India is technically a third world country still. Are we talking?
Possibly.
All right.
Could well be.
So I don't know how that works, but basically the authorities have zero experience in Mumbai of this. They have to get like SWAT or whatever from Delhi to come in, and they're fucking miles away, and they haven't even scrambled, and the thing's almost like halfway through and shit like that. So it shows you that, well, what have we got? We got 5 guys here. 2 of them are like, I guess, detectives or whatever you call them, and 3 of them are like troopers, right?
But that's, we'll save that for spoilers because what happens in with regards to that. But showing the frustration, showing the hope in the guests and the hotel staff who are cowering within the hotel. Because this hotel, the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, is fucking massive.
Fucking huge.
It's huge. I mean, they had real shots that they really went there and they did shoot some things in lobbies.
Location shots were there,
Yeah, and I was stunned by how big this is. And I had a look on Google. How much do you reckon a room there costs? And I'm assuming this is budget room.
A night?
Yeah.
Oh, so not even the penthouse.
No, this is budget.
A budget room?
Yep. Like Google spits out at you as the cost for a night at the moment.
Got to be a couple K.
Not that bad. It was $770 Australian. That's a lot of money for a budget room.
The watchword for when you're flying to Asia is if the room's $500 a night, that's a King Dick hotel.
Right.
Like that's a suite. Like it's not the penthouse, but it's a suite hotel.
Yeah.
So $770.
And clearly this is
this is India though as well. So
yeah, $770 a night for the basic room at the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel.
Not surprising.
Or the Taj.
The Taj. It is amazing. I was very impressed at the performances. I thought that so Dev Patel is really, really good.
Yep.
Even just Armie Hammer and all these guys coming out, I bought the whole thing. Jason Isaacs playing a Russian.
Yeah, fresh off the death of Stalin. He played a Russian general in that film.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I reckon someone saw that film and just went, let's cast Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, he'll still be in phase. Yeah. He was really, really cool. And it's your typical kind of, I mean, I won't go into spoilers, but like, there is not a lot of character development because there's no time for that.
There isn't. And that's probably a knock on the film. I think that...
Do you reckon? Because like, this is really about the event.
Yeah, I know, but they're just sort of archetypes. And so when certain characters die, I can't say overly cared. So we'll come back to that in
Really?
spoilers.
All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about that in spoilers.
And I also think the film runs probably the biggest knock I have on it.
Mm.
And the reason why my grade is what it is, especially, you can't contextualize it with what's happening in the real world, but even before these events of the next day, I'm thinking, does run very close to being exploitative. We're benefiting here from the tragic loss of 160 people's lives 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not really saying anything more than depicting what happened, or at least a dramatized version thereof.
But okay, so then you want to ask yourself, so why do these at all?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
And then
why does any film get released?
Yeah,
to make money.
To make money. Okay, so essentially
Hence
that's the real reason, yes. Right? But even in terms of let's take money out of it, let's talk about popularity, right? You make this movie, it's obviously horrible. Is there
not the movie, but the events?
No, the events, of course. It's about something horrible, and the fact that it's been recorded in film like this, in dramatic style, does that not let you forget more subsequently it has some historical merit to making these kinds of movies? Because especially in this one here, it's not at all glamorizing anything.
No,
right?
It's not.
And it's not the type of movie you can watch casually either. So this is
Well, on that note, Wayne.
What?
I was looking for an avenue to be able to talk about this, and it's not. It's a non-spoiler. I sat in the second row from where you walk in across the walkway.
Yeah.
In front of me, off to the left, were two women.
Oh, I can see where this is going already.
One of them, full credit to her, you're allowed to put into your body what you want to put into your body.
I'm imagining this woman is not slender.
She's not.
There you go.
And she had more food than I've ever seen. That's not, I don't care. That's fine. Her friend next to her, who was one seat further away, so now we're talking sort of 2 seats to my left, pulled out her phone at the 15-minute mark of this film. She did have the light dimmed. I will give her that.
All right.
Did not put this phone away for the entire next 100
That's just annoying.
minutes.
It's so annoying.
I worked myself into a bit of a frenzy at one point. I was going to say, do you mind? And I'm like, no, that camera was too harsh. And then I went, you know what? This is a good opportunity to practice just being mindful of what I want to attend to. I want to attend to the film. She looked through Facebook. I lost count how many times she scrolled through Facebook. She was playing fucking Candy Crush.
That stuff all
If
affects
you
your
are going
dreams.
to the movies to play with your phone, fuck off.
Yes, please fuck off.
Get out of there. If your friend who wants to eat half the fucking cinema, she needs a companion, you can wait out the foyer for her and then walk her home afterwards.
Fully.
Probably need to drive her home, actually.
Roll her home. So no,
I just couldn't
everyone
believe
hates
it.
that shit. Everyone hates that shit.
I have no problem.
And it affects your experience.
Yeah, I have no problem pulling your phone out, check the time, have, oh shit, there's a text here real quick, dang, put it away. That's fine. But when you are blatantly not watching the film and spending money and getting, it wasn't hugely bad, but okay, I just want to say,
but it's distracting for you.
Do you mind? It's right in my eye line. Could you put the phone away, please? Or move somewhere where it's not in my eye line.
Yes.
You know?
Just fuck off. So, yeah, I understand
So,
that.
yeah, you can't watch it casually. Apparently you can.
Well, if you're a dickhead who wasn't going to be there in the first
Yes.
place, but that's the other thing. So
That's my
sorry.
rant.
Yeah. No, that's fine. We needed a light spark in this fucking review. But sorry. My point was that, if you're making these movies, that's why. Is it exploitative as a result of you being realistic about it? I don't know.
I don't know. You're right. It's hard to sort of tell. I guess it doesn't have more to say, really, and that's why. It's a depiction. It's a very good depiction in the sense of it feels realistic.
On pure skill alone, in terms of a skillful
This is
piece,
a really well-made film.
very well-made film.
For a first-time director, it blows my mind. The way he wove in the archival footage and the real news reports.
So I want to ask you that. Is some of that archival? Because I knew it was blurry, but was it blurry on purpose?
Yep. Some of it's lifted straight from the news recordings of the time.
Wow.
So that they stuck that on the TVs and the like. So that was, it's very impressive. And I
Scary as
thought
hell.
it was hard to tell the difference between what was real and what wasn't. I had no idea this film was shot in Adelaide predominantly until after I saw the movie.
No.
Which is fantastic. So there you go. I thought, and the unpredictable deaths were also quite impressive. And I think I've already said my cons.
Do you want to, before we go to spoilers, give me just like your score now?
Not score, but I'll give, because we say that for the end. But
Really?
it's a recommend.
Oh, okay.
It's a recommend if you're up for harrowing suspense.
Yeah.
If you want a good time, sorry, don't bother.
No, and I would recommend it also insofar as movies go, in terms of a good, well-made movie, this is definitely one of those. I can tell you that when I was in there, I was kind of waiting for it to end so I could stop watching this bit, like just the horrible parts.
But given the
but
type of
probably
film,
means it's effective. That means it's
exactly.
effective.
That's what I think it's doing a good job.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, then let's do it. Let's get into spoilers on the other side of this. All right, we're going to discuss all the particulars about the rest of the film. So, and given that this hasn't come out yet, if you are in the States and you're listening to this the first 2 weeks, stop now.
Please stop, because we're going to tell you all the shit that happens, and you think, oh, there's no surprises. There are some.
There are surprises. Okay, so I think we've mentioned that the terrorists get into a hotel. There's a few Aussies in here, which was kind of nice.
Yes.
So we got the Aussie nanny, we got the Aussie couple who are in the restaurant, and that was the first shocking death for me. He's standing there about to pay the bill, and the guy's trying to explain, nah, man, we didn't order this.
And then the waiter's like seems to not understand. And you get lulled, you get lulled into this. Oh, they're going to have a little into it. Boom!
Yep. And then his head just gets blown off virtually.
Yeah.
And they escape along with a whole group of people to the Taj.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy makes the decision, let them in, which I thought was very fascinating.
I saw that.
The first moment where I went, oh, that's human kindness over practicality.
And only if he only hadn't, it wouldn't have happened. All those people out there would have probably caught it. But then 160 people inside or whatever?
No, 160 people overall Mumbai. Yeah. I can't remember the number in the Taj. It was
a goodly amount.
2-3 dozen, I think.
Absolutely.
This film, by the way, it feels like a lot more people than 160
It feels
people
like
died.
everyone died in this movie, right?
So I was a little bit... that was interesting to me to read that, and I don't mean this only because no one should...
No.
But I thought this film, maybe thousands of people died the way this film...
Because it's such a huge place and they went room by room. So, I definitely thought that as well.
Yeah, apparently it has... I can't remember the number of guests. I did read it somewhere. It's thousands of guests. A couple of thousand people can stay in this hotel, I think.
Fuck.
And 500 staff.
God. Well, you know what? I was thinking if I was the maitre d' or whatever, the concierge or whatever who let them all in, I'm sure I would have too. I'm sure if I look at all these people like, I'm like, and probably for a second I'm like, wait a minute, what if the guy's out there? But they're all running from something. I probably would have done it, man.
Yeah. So then they get into the hotel. You think... Well, you're not never shown. You think maybe the female half of the Aussie couple's killed. Like all these people, random guests, the staff members there, the receptionist who is, if she's the concierge, I'm not sure. She hides behind the desk and surprisingly enough lives. And that sets up a scene later in the film, which is probably the most rough scene.
The phone calls?
Yes.
That phone call shit is... Yeah, I think I had the most trouble with that because...
So here is the woman two women who work there at the Taj. And they're ringing each room and saying, it's okay now. At gunpoint.
At gunpoint.
It's okay now. You can open the door. The rescue team is coming to get you out. And so then they would knock on that door. 409. Knock on the door, open the door, and they would just shoot whoever was in there.
And it's like,
And then when she can't do it anymore because she realizes she's condemning these people to death, they just shoot her in the head.
Yep. And then there's the next one, call, and the other girl can't do it. Bam, shoot her in the head. Fucking hell. I'm like, you fuck. And then weirdly, there's a scene where he has to search a dead body of a woman that one of the terrorists shoots a girl.
Yes,
has to search her, and the guy in his ear says, look
she
for
is an infidel. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he says look under her bra to see if there's a key or something there. And he's like, I can't do that. She's an infidel. It doesn't matter. He's like, no, I can't. Sorry.
Again, it's showing that these aren't just evil for evil's sake people. What they're doing is evil beyond comprehension, but there are actually, hard as this is believed, they have a limit.
This is the old thing, like, you do this for religious reasons. If you can live to be 100, really, how would you understand that? It's just some stupid shit. Religion sucks. Anyway, we all about that. We talk about that, yeah.
That's a different podcast entirely.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, I did not expect Armie Hammer to go out.
What I didn't expect
like that
was him and Jason Isaacs, who is eventually revealed to be Vesely, eventually revealed to be Russian Special Forces. They get killed without doing anything.
Well, Jason Isaacs bites the dude's wound.
Doesn't save anyone.
No, but that's how you fucking... That's what a Special Forces guy is. Hey, you gonna kill me anyway? I'm gonna fuck you up as much as I can with my teeth because I'm fucking fucked up.
But I kept expecting...
That's why this isn't a Hollywood movie, all right? Because I was sitting there when
not necessarily those two, but I expected them all to band together.
I expected those
and
two.
Take them out.
But that's not what happened because it's not real. Because it's real life, and that's why it was such a harsh goddamn movie. You got like when Armie Hammer locks his babysitter and the baby in that cupboard. And then the guy comes up and rears on. I thought he was going to kick his ass.
Yep.
Because it's Armie Hammer, motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah. Right? He was going to be Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
He's
he didn't.
Man from Uncle or whatever.
Exactly. He just got busted, came down. And then when he finally, thinks I'm going to try something because the guy who's guarding me is falling asleep.
Yep. Bam.
He just boom, off he goes. I'm like, fuck. And then, oh man, that was harsh. So I'm like, damn it. This movie, well, obviously nobody's safe, but in this film, now what the fuck happens?
And then the other two bits I want to single out in the spoiler section is, you alluded to it before, it's the two Indian detectives or police officers who then gather a few of their soldiers and so bravely enter in, knowing that they're going up against automatic weapons, and they've got fucking revolvers.
They've got one clip as well. They all just got 6 rounds and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
And then the other guards have these look like single shot rifles.
I know.
And of course, the inevitable happens, and most of them get killed, except those two detectives, who then sort of pop in and out of narrative. Except, this is what, again, a small knock on the film. They disappear. You never see what happens.
I was going to ask you because I went to take a piss at one stage, and I came back, and I'm like, what happened to those two cops?
No, you never saw
nothing.
Like, they tried to shoot the guy who was trying to break into the Chamber of Secrets or whatever the hell the fuck back room was. Shot that guy in the leg. Then they got shot, and one of them got shot in the arm, but the other guy dragged him away, and he never saw them again.
That was a bit shit.
And I think that's, given this is, at times it does feel a bit long, it would have really been nice to have a 30-second scene of them getting out.
I just wanted to know what happened.
Because I assume they got out then.
You know what got me as well for those two, right? This is the bit. So they're both up against a pillar, and they encounter one of the terrorists trying to get whatever, and then finally all of them start converging on this door, and these guys are like, we got to shoot him. No, we can't. No, we can't. All right, now here's the thing, right? And this is, I guess, the way the police force is. But let's say it was, I'm not going to compare myself to them, but let's say it was you and me in a situation where it's like, okay, there's a bunch of people that we have to kill, and there's 4 of them, and there's 2 of us.
Who've got automatic weapons.
They got automatics, we both got handguns, and I would at least say to you, all right, Paul, take the 2 on the left, I'll take the 2 on the right. It's like, no, we're going to shoot you, we're going to do it now. And just boom, 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 boom. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Of course he
I think that was, again,
lucky.
emphasizing their ineptitude, really. They weren't they weren't prepared for this situation.
How do you have a
but
gun
I agree.
and not even... Man, we just play Call of Duty and we know not to pick your targets. So anyway.
That's right. And then the other scene is the aforementioned head chef and the way he rallies. It's probably the best scene in the entire film, when they're all okay. They can escape. They can go out the back stairs and get out straight away. There's only 4 terrorists. I don't know that, but there's only 4 terrorists. I can't cover in this massive hotel all the exits. And we do see quite a few people slipping out and managing to get away. He says, okay, here a guest is God. That is repeated time and again. We need to stay and help these people. I'm staying. Who's staying with me?
Yes.
One guy says, I've got kids.
And
he says, no shame, you go.
Yep.
And that guy goes, and 1 or 2 other people go with him, but the majority stay.
Yeah. And
I was like,
this is my home.
This is my home. And then I think most of them, a good portion of them die in the last escape sequence of the film. Those people lay down their lives for guests at a hotel.
That shit doesn't happen in Australia.
Oh, fuck no.
It'd be like, fuck the guests, I'm out.
Nah, you know what? Every
even
person
tip me.
for themselves.
Fuck it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that scene. It struck me again. Compared to those people, I don't think I'm a very good person.
Oh, I'm definitely not a good person. What did you think of the scene where Dev Patel was told to take off his turban, and then he comes to the girl and he says, "Look, this is who I am, and these are my people, and this is an honor."
It was a little bit on the nose.
I was looking at it and I was like,
but I get what it was doing.
No, I'm fine with what he was doing. I'm fine with the execution of it. I think what I did like about it was like, he goes, "Do you want me to take it off?" And she goes, "No, I'm just scared."
Which is good because we just established what a bitch she is.
Yeah. Because that would have made her... the fact that they gave her the second facet to her personality makes it
then
more
she
interesting.
summarily gets killed about 10 minutes later.
Did she get captured? She got
captured. When they say, fuck it, we're going for a run, and that's when both
she was in there.
Jason Isaacs and Armie Hammer's wife get captured. She was in the other group that all got shot.
That bit where, like, you know, the girl runs off and then Jason Isaacs runs after her, even though he's supposed to go downstairs with the rest. Mm-hmm. And then they all get capped, and then he basically that allows them to escape.
And that allowed him to survive. He would have died with them at that point. Had he selfishly gone up.
So his compassion actually saved him for a while. Yeah.
All right, that's really all I've got to say about the film.
Me too.
I think I was very surprised, as you say, with some of the deaths.
Look, in about sort of 5 years, you can watch this film with not the problem that I had when I had it. All right, so
but it's no denying it's effective. It's probably final scores. Then it's probably for me the best movie I've seen at the cinema this year.
Not bad.
And I give it a 75.
Ooh, I went with 72.
Oh, there we go.
Probably because I was so upset.
Yeah. All right, so both of 3.5 stars.
Yes, definitely. Now, it's a recommend, but like give it some time.
Yeah.
Actually, whatever. It depends who you are.
Yeah,
if you're me, give it some time.
And if you're me, you just go in with that mindset of I know what I'm going for, and I'm choosing to watch this rather than being surprised.
Sorry, if you're stronger than me, is what I'm saying.
That's right. That is the conclusion. Yeah. Well, that's our review of Hotel Mumbai. Thank you so much for joining us for this film. It's obviously about to come out in the States, so if you've seen it, let us know what you thought.
Definitely.
And if you're here in Australia and you are thinking about going to see it, even despite what's happened, then again, let us know what you thought. You can do so at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at thecountdownpc, or the links in the show notes to the Countdown Facebook listener community, which has a lot of activity, a lot of great people in there. Do join up if you get to do so.
Defo.
All right.
Thanks for listening, folks. Until next time, my name's Wayne.
My name's Paul, and they didn't get much of a play on such a serious episode, but this has been the soundboard.
Eat my ass! Okay, I guess we can... the asses, man! Well,
it wouldn't be an episode that Ken wouldn't mention ass at some point.
Hard to do on this episode.
We'll catch you next week. Or for the main episode. Cheers.